Hi, how are you? So let's talk about Circadium Friday presentations.
She'll grow up and put on her suits and try to change the world.
So in Circadium School of Contemporary Circus, there is a class called Friday Presentations, and it is every single Friday you present something. So there is a prompt, you have to make a routine or a piece, you have to perform it on a Friday, and then you have to completely forget about it and start on the next one for the next week. The prompt that we received last week was to make a solo that was 2 minutes, non-verbal, wearing whatever you wanted to, that was an introduction. So how would you introduce yourself to the group if no one knew who you were? How would you do that? Yeah, so again, just for reference, here are the prompts exactly. I know that I didn't say them, word for word, but here are the prompts. Or the bullet points of that prompt. Now, I did a chair routine with hat manipulation. I really love it. I'm going to play it for you. I recorded the actual assignment when I turned it in front of everyone, so I have that for you. And then I'm going to talk about the feedback that I received from classmates and teachers, because that's part of the class, is everybody has to, give you, what they liked, what they didn't like, all of that. So cool. Here are a few clips of me practicing. So we're going to insert those while I talk to you guys just about that class. The way it's structured is interesting because it definitely is going to give you that gig world experience that you need, because, you're going to do whatever you need to do for money in this industry. If you have a show, you just got to put something together, make it clean and make it presentable, present it, and then move on to the next job. Of course, you have, your routines that are just, your signatures that you know all the time, that you work on, that you cultivate, that are really personal. But there are also just quick things that you gotta, turn out on a dime. So it's very helpful for that. There's an interesting dynamic of structure because my class has 8 people in it. And so for solo events, that takes a while and there's a lot to digest. But so far, I still like the format that they're doing. So yes, that was me rehearsing. I had private rehearsals Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We have 4 hours each week to put them together. So we get an hour on Tuesday, 2 hours on Wednesday, and 1 hour on Thursday, and then we perform Friday morning. So here's the performance that I will roll right now. Okay, so that was it. I hope you guys loved it. I had so much fun putting it together and it was really special to me and I really enjoyed that routine. Now let's talk about feedback. So I'm going to start with the feedback from the instructors because of course that is ultimately the most important part of showing it in class. Okay, so where did I write this down? Okay, here we go. So what they said is that they felt it expressed freedom and joy and playfulness, and then it had all of those attributes. They took away that me as a person, maybe I had something stripped of me from the outside world, but that I was still moving to the beat of my own drum. Quick interjection. The inspiration behind this piece, aside from just trying to introduce myself, was to show a relationship of the world not believing in your art or your career or your choices, and just deciding that with or without support from your communities or your societies, that you're just going to continue on and pursue. So those were the types of feedback I was getting, which was spot on. I wanted to portray that to them to introduce myself. And so they totally understood that, and that was wonderful. For growth, which is kind of their, what can I do better in the future? They were just talking about how, how can I connect more with the audience to kind of lessen that divide of character audience and make it more personal connection, which is really interesting because I used to really not like watching the audience or like participating with the audience, and I used to be really closed off. I would perform, never making eye contact with people and just doing my moves. I was very, technique oriented, and I had a coach, not multiple coaches, just constantly give me that correction. You have to look, you have to be presented, you have to, make connections. And so then I just kind of flipped a switch and I went all out, and now audience can like performing for them, making eye contact, being showy, that's my thing. I got that down. So to get this comment to kind of, reel that back in and look at myself and see how I can be more vulnerable is really interesting. And I'm excited to explore that because, I feel good about how I took that older correction of not engaging, and now to engage in a more meaningful way is going to be really exciting this year. So that was super fantastic, and I'm going to work on that. Little things like they said that my hands always have a very circusy looking technique, and maybe if I can add more movement or more natural flows to that would be good. They said that it felt very very much me, like they did the prompt, they thought that I did do a good job on the prompt, and that it did feel very much like whatever. But they did say that it was a little character-y, which is an interesting comment because I almost view myself as a character, as kind of a cartoony, bubbly personality. So it's hard to, distinguish between am I playing a character or am I presenting myself as a character, which is kind of what I brought up. And that was the question that I asked my teachers is like, how do I make that distinction, right? As a performer, how do I make those types of distinctions? And yeah, another thing that they said was just like more authenticity. They really want to know that who I am behind all of that, which I wouldn't necessarily say there's anything behind all of that, because the way that I see it is next to, right? So there's me as my character and as my performing authentic self, and then there's, me quiet in my room reading a book, or me painting, or me, they're all, I view them as side by side, not back, behind, and in front, and all of that. So yes, that is what my instructors said. All right, so now we're going to talk about feedback from the classmates / other audience members. So they're all done with like bullet points. They're called pops, and it's things that popped out or things that they saw during the routine. So some of them are like, someone said it was well thought out, and that I looked confident and I owned my space. Someone said that they loved the incorporation of hat and facial expressions. Oh, really quick. I was not wearing a mask in the video. If you saw that, I didn't have a mask on. Masks are mandatory 100% of the time at school. However, for these presentations, the audience was extremely far away from me, and I did take my mask off, which was recommended by the teacher. So I didn't just like take my mask off to do that. It was part of the project, so don't come at me. Wear your mask. They said that it was a very cute, upbeat music choice, which guys, if you didn't notice, the music that I picked was the instrumental of Daisy Girl. So yeah, the intro song that you always see in my videos is my original song, Daisy Girl, and I used the instrumental for my routine because one of the parameters for this prompt was nonverbal, so I couldn't use lyrics, but I love Daisy Girl so much, and of course I immediately wanted to use the instrumental. Someone said, great theatrical skills and performing presence, excuse me. Good awareness of space, did not feel like the most authentic introduction of yourself. Which was interesting because, again, I argue that because does it look inauthentic because it looks cartoony, where I authentically feel cartoony, you know? So that's where we're at. This one says, girl, you have such fabulous stage presence. And then it says, reread that first bullet point again. So sweet. Everything looked so clean and precise. I also love the variety of skills shown. And it says, you are beautiful. And I love positive comments from and to classmates. This says, your facial expressions really helped tell your story. Your song choice had the childlike playfulness with the undertones. Thank you. And then it says that it had a nice blend of hitting a mark and the moments in between. So sweet. Obviously, my instructors ripped me apart a little bit more than my, classmates, because no classmate is just gonna be like, it sucked, but I appreciate all of the feedback regardless. This says, I loved your commitment. Oh, that was a different comment. Never mind. This says, I love how playful this was. Dance and Croc was so good. Yay. Top Hat was adorable, and now I am just always going to associate you with top hats. So yeah, it was a positive experience, and I'm very grateful that I got to film it and show it to you guys, because I think it's important for you to, see the actual meat of what I'm doing, because a lot of these videos have been a little surface level, but this is an actual routine that I put together in 4 hours over the week and performed in front of my class and my coaches and my teachers. So yes, I hope you enjoyed it. On Wednesday, you're gonna get another adventure vlog because I went on another really cool adventure over the weekend with some of my school friends. So yeah, I hope you guys are excited about the content as I am, because I am loving being able to share this with you. So thank you. I hope you have an incredible day, and I will see you next time.
Little Daisy girl wasn't made to break.
I have flowers on the back of my head.